Crafty creators! Welcome back to Flosstube! As always, you guys are such genuine gems for coming along today and joining me. A big welcome back to my returning subscribers and viewers. You guys absolutely make my day and warm my little heart every time you drop a cheeky little like or leave a comment downstairs so that we can have a chat. It really is just my favorite thing ever. And of course, a huge hi, hello, how are you to everyone that might be new and have just found me. I'm so glad you're here. I hope you like what you've seen so far and you found a reason to stay and hang out. My name is Miss Chloe and this is my little corner of the internet where I get to share my cross-stitching journey with you guys. Today is exciting because it is our first proper update for 2025. So if you guys came along last fortnight, you would of course have seen the Whip Parade. All of the projects that I have to do for the next year, minus any new starts, they were all shown. We talked about all of them. So many of you guys showed up. So many of you reached out and had a little chat with me on socials, and it made me so happy. You guys have no idea how much. I was like, oh my God, I made new friends. I loved it. Thank you so much for coming over to Instagram and finding me and having a chat and just telling me what you think of the different projects I've got and recommending new projects to me. You guys are dangerous. You guys are dangerous for my wallet, but I love it. I love it so much. I cannot wait to get into this year and really get to know everybody and do all the things and see what's going on. So in the past fortnight, I have worked on so many things. I've had 3 new starts, 2 were planned, and 1 accidentally happened. So we have that. I have 2 finishes. One's a stitch along and 1 is just a normal project. And I have 2 projects that I've worked on, 1 old favorite and 1 is my rainy day project. So if you've watched the Whip Parade, you know which one that is. So I'm pretty happy with the amount I've got done, especially going back to work because we have now restarted at uni. So I am back on full-time books. So my stitching has gone from this much every day to like this much every day, but I'm still getting it in and enjoying it. So that's pretty good. I think we're gonna start with our old favorite because she is on top of the pile and she's nice and big. So everybody say hi to our scary sampler. This one is from the marvelous Beth Twist of Heartstrings Samplery and is done on a 28 count even weave from Zweigart, and it's done as a 1/1, so 1 thread over 1 square, making her rather petite. Which I absolutely love. I think this is my new favorite way to stitch. I love doing 1/1. It just looks so clean and it's so nice. You don't have to worry about your threads twisting or anything like that. It just stays perfect. Here is your close-up of what I have done so far. As you can see, I am a good way through this. So at the moment, I am 50% done with this piece, and I don't even think I've done half the grass. I don't even think I've done half the grass, you guys. There is so much grass. It extends all the way into the flower border on the other side there. But we will get there, we will get there. So since I last saw you and last got to have a really good chat about this project, I have solely been working on the grass. And you guys, there's so much of it. There's thousands on thousands on thousands of stitches. And I did the little light green part first underneath the house and I was really happy with that. And then I started the second set of grass and got to where I am now and realized I've used the wrong color. So it's actually supposed to be reversed. The darker green is supposed to be up the top there and the lighter green is supposed to be in the foreground. I did pick these colors myself. These were modifications, but I had a little bit of a cry. I'm gonna be really honest, you guys. The thought of having to unpick this to make it right hurt my soul far too much. So we are going to keep the grass this way. It will be fine. I still love it. Even if they are reversed, it's fine. It just means there's more shade on the front of my lawn rather than the back of my lawn. We don't know what's in front of the piece. It could be anything. I'm gonna say it's a giant tree and it shades the whole thing. It shades the whole thing. So the grass grows best there. I have made a few changes on this one if you haven't been here before. Obviously the 2 grass colors are completely different to the greens that were charted. I got some help with those from my friend Amy and a couple of my friends in the stitching group, just to make sure that the tones were right and they matched in. They looked pretty good. I'm really happy with how it's coming out, so I think they were a great choice. So thank you very much for all your help, ladies. And then I have changed the mortar on the house and the side of the house. They were originally in black, and I just felt like that was a little bit too dark. So I went with 3371, which of course is that beautiful dark chocolate brown that reads quite close to black. So I think it's a nice little lift without being too much color in there. So far, everything else is done as charted, which I'm pretty happy with. I really love the way that the flowers look and the little alien heads. I think they're really sweet. So next up, I'm hoping just to finish the grass, but that won't be done within 2 weeks. There's just too much grass still there to go, you guys. Like, it's the whole thing. It's huge, and it goes up. So it makes a little step, and then there's just more and more and more. So I am just hoping to get probably the surround of the coffin done. There is a coffin down here that's starting to take shape. So that is my aim for that one. Working on this piece has been really great. This fabric is super stable, so it's been a really good one to have for a 1/1 project. And I'm really enjoying it. But I will give you some advice if you choose to go 1/1 with your project. Work your tension, because your tension is going to be killer. The amount of stitches when I first started that just whoop, slipped straight through, they were too tight. That sort of thing was a bit of a problem. So have a play first, use your margins. We always, of course, have margins for framing. So if you can, if you've got them on a scroller like this, use your margins, have a bit of a play and see what you're comfortable with, how you're comfortable working, and it will tell you the tension for the rest of the piece, which I think is super important on something like this. But yeah, that's what that one's up to. The next project I worked on, I got to work on because of the weather. It's my first ever rainy day project, you guys. So last year I saw people having great success with snow day projects in the US and rainy day projects here. So I decided that I should also have one and just encourage myself to really get to grips with a piece on specific days. So here is where I am now up to on the beaver from the Forest Friends Afghan. This is a piece that I am stitching for my friend Angela. Hey girl! And I'm actually really enjoying it. This is from Stony Creek. And I believe it is from 1994. So it's a whole bunch of different animals on the blanket. I'll send you a close up now. This is the beaver that we are currently working on. So I went and sat down and I put a few hours worth of work into him. I did have to unpick some things I'd miscounted, but that's okay. That's okay. We have now officially ticked off 2 colors within our beaver that are completely done with, which just feels like such a great little dopamine rush, you guys. I was so happy. I was so happy. And I'm really happy with how he's looking and how his coverage is coming out. I'm just really, really enjoying him. Working on this fabric is still a little bit weird. So anyone with tips for working on the Afghan fabric, please let me know. It's just really strange on my hands. I don't usually work with like fluffy things, apart from my cats, obviously. But it has been a world of different experience and I am absolutely loving it. I think he's turning out to be really, really sweet. So I will be focusing on him again next time it rains. And I'm not sure when that's going to be. We are in summer, so I don't think he's going to come out to play too much for the next few months, but we'll see. We might get lucky. We might get a few night storms and things like that, which mean I can pull him out and work on him for a couple of hours and pop him back. But I am really, really enjoying it. So you can see his body is almost completely in. We've got this little tail of his and these flowers done and the stick that he's holding. And now his little face is actually taking shape because I've started to put in stitches on the other side. Before he was just kind of a blob, you know, no face. But he's getting there now and I'm really enjoying working on him. I think looking at the fabric, this is a 14 count. I'm not really sure. I did inherit this project from my friend who I will finish it for and then return eventually. It's going to take a while though. I'm sorry, you guys. It's going to take a while, but I am really enjoying the process. I am very much a process stitcher. I enjoy actually just doing it and not really worrying too much about what I'm working on. So I was pretty thrilled when I got to pick this one up for my friends and just start putting some stitches into it. It makes a really nice break from everything else that I'm doing. And as I said, I've never done a blanket before. So working on the material has been a whole new experience. And I think that's really, really fun. As we're not forecast for rain for a little while, I'm not quite sure when I'll get to work on this one again, but hopefully it does rain soon because I am feeling this one this year. I have a feeling that we're going to get a couple of panels in, which will be really nice. Next up, I'm going to share my finishes with you guys. I am so keen, so keen. So if you were at my whip parade, you saw that there were 4 or 5 pieces that were pretty close to being done. So I have knocked out 2 of them. They are off the list. They are gone. The first is A Good Night for Reading from Lola Crow. So here's my finish. Here's your close-up because she's little. This one is a little tiny freebie that she had on the Fibromyalgia Awareness Cross-Stitch group. And it was put out for everyone that was a member there. I believe it is still in the files. If you want it, you can go get it. And I have stitched it on a 14 count hand-dyed Ada from Frog and Tink. I absolutely love the pinks and oranges and whites in this one. I think it just came up really, really well. I'm really happy with the cat too. I think she's really cute. I wish I'd changed its eye color. I didn't think too much about that. I had put in the eyes by the time I was like, oh, I could turn it into my old cat potato. But I didn't, obviously. So she's got gray eyes, but I think she's still really, really cute. I absolutely loved this one. So it is stitched 2 over 1. For anyone that's new, that means 2 pieces of thread over 1 square or 1 set of holes, just to give it a good coverage. I find that works really well on the 14 count for me. And I'm really happy with how it turned out. So now I need to work out how to finish it. I'm not sure whether I want to try something brand new or I want to put her in a little hoop and hang her up on my wall. So your suggestions are very, very much appreciated. Please let me know how you would finish this one. But otherwise, everything is done as called for and she's all finished. The other finish that I had, you guys, is so sweet. It's also from Lola Crow. It's from last year's Christmas stitch along. It's the Yule Cat. Look at him, he's so cute. Here's your close-up so you can get a really good look at this little fella. I am so happy. He's just there playing with his Christmas tree, eating kids that don't have new clothes, you know, usual mischief. I can actually think of nothing better than having a giant cat, so I think this is amazing. I think this is amazing. I really, really enjoyed this stitch along so far, so I did finish the Yule Cat. He is stitched 2 over 2, so 2 threads over 2 squares on a 32 count mystery linen that was sent to me as part of a kit for something else, and I just thought it was perfect for these ornaments. I absolutely love them, and I love how they've turned out on here, so I'm very, very happy with it, and I'm so happy that I picked this fabric. I think it was just perfect. And I really enjoyed stitching him. The whole time I sat there with my little grumpy Yule Cat, my mocha. She is not grey, she is completely black, but she very much gave the vibe, and it was like I was stitching a tiny her onto the piece, which was a lot of fun. So this stitch along does have one more ornament, one tiny little baby one that came out as a bonus ornament. It is Tommy and the goat, I believe. Here's what he looks like. So I need to get some fabric to stitch him. I am hoping that I will have enough in the middle of the piece because it's quite big, and I managed to get everybody done. So I think if I hoop finish these guys, I should be able to fit the new guy in the middle, which will mean that everybody is done and everybody is cute. And if I finish him, I will finish the stitch along. It will be done. Here's a close-up of the entire stitch along so far for you, just so you can have a really good look at everybody. So the first ornament release we had was, of course, Krampus. I got very excited. He was one that I really wanted to be on here. So I stitched him in a day. I had the best time. He was just super great to work on. And I really enjoyed putting like his chains and stuff over the North Pole sign. I don't know, just stitching that was really satisfying. The next one we got was La Bafina. And she was a little witch. She comes down the chimney on January 5th, I believe, and cleans the floor of people that have been nice. So she can come visit me anytime she wants, because girl, I always need someone to clean my house. And then next up we have the Mary Lewid, which is from Wales, I believe, and I am so sure I'm butchering the pronunciation. I am sorry to anyone that knows this one. And she got a bunch of cute little gingerbread carolers, and I really enjoyed putting the lights on the house for this one. I think that was a lot of fun. And then, of course, our grumpy little Yule cat hanging out there playing with the Christmas tree and eating people that don't have new clothes. So we do have, of course, a bunch of new clothes there for everybody to wear. But this has been the Christmas Monsters Stitch Along, and I have really loved this one. So I have to get that extra fabric going so that I can, of course, stitch up the final bonus ornament and get everybody completed and on the wall. I think I could probably, if I work out the fabric, I could probably get it done in a couple of days. So I am hoping to have that one to show you next time. The next project I have to show you is only a small. I started it the other day because I had analysis paralysis and I couldn't pick what to work on. So I was talking to my friend Liz and I was just like, what should I work on? She gave me all these suggestions and none of them called to me. None of them seemed quite right for my mood. So I pulled out a little Mill Hill kit and I started the Emerald Reap. You guys, it's so sweet. Here is your close-up of this one. So at the moment I am done with the body stitching at the moment. So all of the stitches are placed. As you can see, they're all red, green and yellow. And they're just really sweet. Really sweet. So next up I need to work on the beading. So for me, each bead I like to secure with a full cross through the middle of the bead just to make sure they sit right and they look really, really good. So I will be doing that. So each bead will be the same process as a cross stitch with the exception of the 5 bead knot, which is something new that I need to learn for this. So it's got little decals where I believe the beads all stick up to look completely different. So I think that's going to be fun to learn and I can't wait to get into that one. And of course, it's got a little tiny charm. You can see, you know. It's got a little tiny charm and it's a golden Santa face. And it's just really sweet. I have really been enjoying these little kits lately. I think it's great. I have a whole bunch of them that I've managed to pick up off Marketplace and at different craft stores when they've, you know, end of lined them. And I've got them for about $6, which I think is just perfect. I love it. I love it. I love getting a good deal. I'm a sucker for it. They are all Christmas ones though. And I believe Mill Hill does non-Christmas. So I want to get a handful of those to do because generally I'm not a seasonal stitcher. I don't particularly like doing things that can only come out once a year and hang out and then have to go away again. The idea of having to take them away again makes me a bit sad. So I do have a box of Christmas stitches that comes up every year and goes away every year. But I'm trying to lean away from that, she says, starting a new Christmas phase. Just a little bit to sort of get myself in order because I do like the idea of having everything that can be up all the time. So if you have suggestions on Mill Hill kits that you think suit me and suit my stitching style, please let me know which ones they are. I have seen a couple of butterflies and I think one of my friends was doing an ice cream the other day. So I'm gonna have to go look for that one because that's just really sweet. It was very cute and it was in like a little dish. I think it was Kat who was doing it. And she also let me know that you can get frames to hold this paper, which would be amazing because you can't see it because it's so small, but I've actually lost the bottom corners where I've been holding it or my thread keeps getting stuck because of the little cutouts, because it's not a flat piece to work with. And obviously being a thick perforated paper, it's not as forgiving as fabric, so it won't just sort of let things brush off. It's more like a medium stiffness of cardboard than anything else if you haven't worked with a perforated paper before. But I am really, really enjoying it. So I'm excited to learn the new beading technique with the 5 bead knots. They look a little bit like stars in my mind, so I think that's going to be really cute. And I think I can actually get this one finished in a couple of days if I just sit down and really pay attention and focus and learn the new beading technique. The final 2 pieces I have to share with you today are separate but go together. They are a pair. And if you've watched Jeopardy, I'm sure you'll hear the noise because I do. I like to call them my daily double because I work on them every single day and I just do one little bit on each of them, which has been a lot of fun. So I'll introduce you to the first one. This is 324 from Works by ABC. Here is your close-up. I am working this one out on a 36 count even weave. And of course you can see it's just plain white. It doesn't need to be fancy. This piece will speak for herself in volumes. She's absolutely gorgeous. So I believe the reason for this naming is that if you do every single square in a different color, you will use 324 different colors from DMC to complete the piece. I'm really loving this. This is not my usual style, but it's been a lot of fun so far. So you can see that every second square is just a little block of 5 by 5. And so those days are really quick and nice and easy. And then there are more intricate pieces done next to them, which I'm really loving. And I'm really enjoying how it's turning out. I love seeing the different colors and how they connect and how it all goes together. So I am working this one in tandem with the sequel, which is this one. So this one I have done on a 28 count even weave so that they will end up as the same size and I can frame them either in the same frame or side by side, something like that. It'll be fun, whatever we do with it. And again, every day I work on one square. So I've picked all my squares and I just work the corresponding one on each piece. Every single day I get to put in a little bit more. Here's your close-up of this one. She is quite beautiful. This one is a full line work piece. So this is all different black work. It's got different thicknesses and different requirements for every single square, which has been super fun. And I believe all the squares are repeated a number of times, eventually in different orders around the piece. So I am stitching these 2 projects with so many of my friends. I am having the best time. So I believe Erin, who is the hiking stitcher, she's doing this with us. Mel is doing this with us as well. She's over on Instagram. We have Liz from Stitched by Liz, and of course Amy as well, who is also on Instagram. Every time I post, everybody's tagged. So if you want to see how other people's look, which I highly recommend for this piece, definitely click through everyone's names and have a quick looky-loo. I post religiously, as you guys know. I like to do my daily posts because I use Instagram as a stitching journal. So I like to go back and open it and see what I worked on every day and sort of get a feel for how I've been going and what I've been doing, which is really nice for me. But the other ladies are all doing their posts in different ways. So I don't think anyone else is doing a daily update. It's just me. A couple of people are doing weekly. I believe Amy is going line by line, but the pieces are all growing so differently. It's amazing to see just how different they all look. So you can see I've worked mine into a little bit of a rectangle here, and my plan for this week coming is to do underneath here, or the next 2 weeks is to sort of do underneath and build myself down and across. Mel is doing hers on diagonals, which is really cool. My friend Amy is doing a straight line across the bottom, and then she's going to go up from there. But everyone's just picked different blocks to work on, so it's been really great to sort of see how it all comes to life and see how differently they all look. Plans, obviously, keep up with your stitch along. That is the plan. So far so good. We are on track. This is the 22nd. I have 22 squares. We've done it so far. But obviously there's a bit of a way to go still. But I am just hoping to be able to keep up and do both of them. So this is what they both look like now. And hopefully next time I see you guys, they will have another 14 days worth of little squares done, and they will be looking really fly. I'm thinking we'll get out of the pink soon, maybe, because we are starting to get into sort of the darker tones and things like that on the side there. So I'm thinking that we might get into that. As you can see from our images there, they are absolutely gorgeous. The gradient on this thing is just phenomenal. That's honestly what called to me. And I was very surprised to discover that the charts were just done in black. So the charts themselves are done in black, and you have to read the instructions to find out which colors go where, which I thought was a really novel approach because it does make it easy to load and input in Pattern Keeper and things like that, for the piece that's not fancy work, of course. But it does mean you really have to concentrate. You have to double check your numbers. You can't do what I did with the scary sampler and be like, oh yeah, it's a green. No, that doesn't work here. Things are so perfectly laid out from Works by ABC that you kind of need to get them right. But I'm really, really loving this. Again, neither of these pieces are anything like stuff that I've done before. It's a whole new style for me and I'm really enjoying it. It's been a lot of fun to learn the embroidery stitches and I can't wait to start perfecting them. Quick shout out to my friend Liz, who was absolutely amazing and found me a tutorial on French knots. That worked for me. I have watched so many and in the past I have never ever been able to get a French knot to look nice and land. And then she found this thing and she showed it to me and suddenly I can do them. I have done 2 squares with French knots, you guys. And I'm gonna do them another 4 times. So I should get really good at them by the end of the thing. But yeah, that's what they're up to. So for that one, I just hope to keep up and not have to spend like a whole day in shame trying to fix them. But we'll see how we go. So that's everything that I've worked on for the past fortnight. I can't wait to get back into it and start stitching up again. For the plans for the future, I would just like to keep up on the 2 projects for my daily double. So I would like to come back and have 14 new squares on each one, all done and shiny and ready to show you. Maybe I'll have changed color, fingers crossed, we'll see. And I would like to get some more grass put in on my scary sampler. I'm really feeling that one at the moment, so I would like to get that done. Other than that, I'm not really sure what I'm going to work on. I would, as I said, like to sort fabric out and get the last ornament done for the Christmas sal that I did from Lola Crow. I think that would be really nice because then I can just focus on finishing. But we'll see how we go with that one. And then I would also like to maybe work on a few other things that are in my craft room. Maybe the study of skulls if I get some good light. But I do need to have sort of an easier day at work for that one to come out and play because it is over 1 on a 32 count that is opalescent. Choices were made. Choices were made. She looks great, but she's very, very hard on the eyes. So it would be nice to be able to get into that one on a calm day when I've got really good strong light going on from the sun. That would be excellent. But we'll see how we go. Otherwise, I think I'm just going to focus on trying to get that little wreath done and learning the new beading techniques, which is going to be a lot of fun, so that I can show you another finish next fortnight. So until then, you guys stay safe, you be happy, and you craft something beautiful. I'll see you again real soon, crafty creators. Bye!